Hey guys, Juggernaut Ohio here. Today's video will be bringing you the walkthrough guide for 47 of the Calcified Fragment locations and Destiny's Taken King DLC. In the video, there are a couple that will not show up on screen, but I'll be sure to point those out because I grabbed them when I wasn't recording. But we'll go through each location, all the ones you get in patrol, plus the strikes, the raid, and the Court of Oryx runes. So, I hope you guys enjoy the video. If you do, please leave a like and a sub. And let's go ahead and get started with the video. Alright, so on destinations on the Dreadnaut in the bottom right here, you can see the number of fragments you have. So we'll slide our counter to the top there. We'll launch the patrol Dreadnaut, and we'll start in on our quest to get the 47 calcified fragments that are known at this time. As soon as you spawn into the hull breach, the first fragment is going to be directly on top of these little columns here on the right, the platforms. So you're just going to want to make your way to the back of the platforms and then just keep jumping up till you reach the top. So just move to the back, keep continuing up, and once you get to the top, the fragment will be on the front side in the corner by the main wall. So let's go ahead and make one more jump up. I do not have this one on the recording, but I do shoot and show where it's at, and you'll see the counter go up on the top right corner when we found a fragment. So right there in that corner is going to be your first fragment. Right there. So that's fragment number 1. As soon as you grab that one in the hull breach, you can get fragment number 2 by coming down to the left as soon as you spawn. If you drop down, there's a series of wires or pipes over here. So underneath that's a doorway, so you'll just want to make your way around and enter the cave here. And once you go into the cave, just turn left. And on the first column to the left, right on the left-hand side in the front, there is a fragment. So if you just wedge yourself in here and then kind of look to the left a little bit, you'll see the fragment there. So there's number 2. Alright, after you've collected the second fragment, you're going to want to make your way back out into the main room of the hull breach. And directly in the center of the room, just showing here some boxes, some keyed boxes. So this is one of the fragments will be in one of these keyed boxes. Right now this is just a standard box, but we'll show how to do that a little bit later, how to get the key for the named boxes. So to get the third fragment, you just want to come out here to the main area of the hull breach, and directly in the center of the map here, where the battle takes place, there's these columns right here, and right there is our third fragment. And if you notice the gun's switching any, it's just because the recording was at different times, so I'm trying to show the fragments. So after you pick that one up, you want to move down the right hand side of the ship in the hull breach, and you're going to take a right at the bottom of the map, and there's a cave back here in the back corner. So you're going to go into the cave and make a left, and there's a crack in the wall. And from here you'll just proceed to the other end of the room, and there's this little series of tunnels. So go through the tunnel at the light. You want to hang a left. And then in this next room you want to continue forwards. So past this box, there's another set of tunnels here to the right. There you go. And in this final room, all the way against the back wall, so you'll see when you get into the room, there's this canister on the right. You just go to the back wall, and on the back left side of this column is our next fragment, so that's number 4. Once you grab that, just make your way back out to the hull breach, the main area. And as soon as you get out to the hull breach, you're just going to want to take a right and follow the path that takes you towards the Mausoleum area. And halfway in between hull breach and Mausoleum, we'll find our 5th fragment laying in some tubing or pipes that are like a grate that's along the ground next to the ship. So once you get out here, so that's the Wormsinger Ruin, that's where you start it, and that's how you get the named boxes. You'll have to start a Wormsinger, get a Worm Feeder, get kills, and then you'll get that box. So for the 5th fragment, you'll just come out, you're in the hull breach, you go down along the right hand of the ship here, and at the bottom of the map there is a walkway that goes to the Mausoleum. And as you're making your way through, once you pass the blue light here, you just look on your left and you'll see this road or grating, whatever this is, and right there is our next fragment. And from there, make your way back to the hull breach, or if you're starting from the hull breach, you're just going to go, so right there is where we start, we're just going to go off to the right here and through the blue doors and make our way over to the Hall of Souls. So right there is where the court happens. And we're just going to keep making our way over here to the right and progress over around so that we're directly next to the Court of Oryx. And once we get out of here, if you turn to the right, you'll see a hole in the wall and some hidden platforms that will lead you back out to the Trenchway, which is where you started the game at on the Dreadnaut. So if we look out here, bring up our ghost, we'll see the platforms. So we'll just make our way over here to the top where that witch is. It makes it a little easier to jump over to the platforms. Now that we've made our way into the Trenchway, you're just going to follow this hallway and bend around to the left. And around the corner to the left is going to be our next fragment. So once you turn the corner, you'll turn left again, and right here in the V of these columns, so that's the main hallway, right here in this column right here, you'll see our next fragment. So that is our 6th fragment.
Yeah.
After you pick that fragment up, you're just going to want to turn and go down the hallway. You see the grate there. You take a right through the little cave here and come out on the other side. And as soon as you pop out of this, just turn left. And there's a little stack of columns over here to the right. So we're just directly in front of the grate from that hallway. You're just going to jump up onto those columns. And our 7th fragment will be right there. Once you grab that, you'll just want to jump down and walk back out here to the main area of the Trenchway. And if you turn left, there is a hidden platform here. So you can just jump over to this next area. Back here on the right, we will find our next fragment. It's in the left-hand corner back here. There it is. So let's grab that. And once we've grabbed that, just go back out to the main area. And let's jump back across to the main platform. Over there is part of the Regicide Mission. We'll get to that later. There's more fragments there that you have to do in Regicide. So let's jump back across. And let's go to the opposite end of this platform. So that's where we first came in at. So let's go to the opposite end. You know, there's the main door back out to the main opening where you first start the Dreadnaut mission. And if we pull up our ghost, we'll see that there's some platforms here that lead to a hidden room up there in the top right corner. So we'll just make our way up there to the top right. And once we make it into this hidden room here, we're just going to go to the left, and in the first column here, it's just right against the wall there on the left. So you'll see it right here. And let's go ahead and grab the 9th ghost or fragment. And once you pick that one up, you're just going to want to make your way back down, and then we're going to head outside to the beginning area, and there are going to be 2 more fragments out there that we can grab. So to get back across, just get in front of the walkway and you'll see the bridge form there. And if you bring out your ghost, you'll see the other connecting platform. And once you made it out here, you're just going to want to turn to the left and head back to the very far left front corner where we first spawn into the Dreadnaut. And from there, there'll be a little area down at the bottom that you can jump down to that has some banners or flags. You can see it right there on the right. So if you're doing this from the first mission or patrol, once you're in this area, you'll just take in the scenery at first, because it is pretty amazing backgrounds in this game. And then right down here to the left, you'll be able to see that pile of rocks and those banners, and right down there is the fragment. So let's make our way around over here to the banners, and we will just jump down onto the pile of rocks and grab the fragment, and then jump back up so we can grab the next. So this is our 10th fragment here. And once you've collected that, just jump back up and make it your way across the room to the far left corner. So that's where we came into the room at. And back here in this little doorway on the left hand side, we'll find our 11th fragment. And once you've grabbed that fragment, you'll just want to make your way back inside and progress back into the Hall of Souls, where we'll continue our quest to get the fragments. So now that we've made it back to the Hall of Souls, we'll just want to jump back across using the platforms. And right up here to the right, you can kind of see some doorways that have some red lighting inside of them. For our next fragment, you'll just want to go into the red room here, the hallway. And you'll see a set of columns there. And if you jump up the columns, there's a hidden fragment behind the pillars. I believe it's these three, so as you jump up, you should see it. And there it is back there. So just jump up the columns and then jump back and you can grab it. And that is our 12th fragment. And once you've grabbed that one, we'll just go down here. And the next one that we're going to grab, there's a couple different ways to do it. But what you're looking for, it's the box that basically has black stuff on the ground. It will kill you if you stand in front of it too long. So what you're looking for is some yellow text above these doors. There's 3 areas, one that we're in right now, one back here in the back of the Court of Oryx, and it's basically where you discharge the weapon in one of the first missions on the Dreadnaut. So back here to the right in the court is another spike right there. And then over here to the left where I actually see the text at, there's some glyphs above the doorway. What you're going to want to do is find these glyphs and enter the room that has the glyphs on them. And on the spikes where the weapon relic thing was in the mission, you're going to want to approach it. You'll hear some stuff in the background, and then some taken will start spawning like you see here. And what you need to do is just kill the taken at each of the glyphs, and you'll have to do this 3 times. So it could be in any of the 3 rooms. So after you kill the yellow HP bar boss for that spawn, that round, you'll just kind of run back and forth between the 3 areas until you find the yellow writing above the doorways again to signify which room it's spawning in. And once you've done that the 3rd time, on the 3rd go, a witch will spawn at the end. And once you kill the witch, the wizard, it'll spawn a relic. And we'll use that relic to grab the box to allow us to open the box without dying. So here you can see the last guy in this sequence. So now you'll just kind of float between this room, the one on the far right from here, and then the back of the Court of Oryx between those pistons, and kind of look for that yellow text to be above the doorways. I think it ended up actually being back across, so yeah, I can see it there. It's back on the other side. So make your way back around. It's kind of random where it spawns at, and just remember there's 3 of them, so this will be our 2nd. And there's our text, so we'll head into this room, and they'll spawn in the middle again. You just kill all the taken until you kill the yellow HP major. And then repeat the process until you find the 3rd set of glyphs or text above the doors. And that'll be the final one, which will give you the relic. Alternate ways of doing this part when you see where we get to the box. If you have a fire team member, you can just go up to the box, face it, and allow it to kill you. and have a fire team member creep into the room and res you, and as soon as they res you, start holding X to get the box. So here's our third and final room, and you should have enough time. We've done it a couple times. It might take a few tries, but you should have enough time to get the box before it kills you again. The other way is if you have a sword that has the shield or block perk unlocked, you can actually just use that to walk in the room with your shield on and grab the box without it doing damage to you. But if you're by yourself and don't have a sword, this is the method you'd want to use. And there's our witch. So once we kill the wizard, I guess, you'll see that a relic spawns in the middle of the spikes. And then you're just going to want to grab the relic and make your way to the bottom of the map, which would be the back side of the Court of Oryx. So here, run out to the front, which is actually the wrong direction. So we want to see the court there. We want to be on the back side of it. We're on the side there, so go the other way and just make your way down to the next area. And once you're down here, you'll see a set of doorways. And it's not the one on the left that has the lights over it that goes to the main area. What you're looking for is this one down here at the bottom of the platform. And inside this doorway, there's going to be a crack in the wall. So you just make your way through there with the relic. And when you come through the next area, just keep continuing until you find the box. So here you see the stuff on the ground. The box is actually up to our left up here. So you're just going to jump up, and with the relic, you're able to open the box without killing you. So here I ran out of time because I went the wrong way first, but it actually gave me enough time to collect the box before I die. So I'm already halfway through there. So there, the relic's gone. You'll see that it kills you pretty quickly. So that is our 13th fragment, and how to get it using the relic. So after you grab that box, there's actually another fragment. The 14th is right next to it. So if you die, just go back into the area. Otherwise, just come here, and you see the box here on the right. There's another hole here to the left. If you just work your way down this cave, right there is our next fragment, and that'll be number 14. And once you've collected that, just make your way back out to the Hall of Souls. And from here, when facing out to the Court of Oryx, the 15th fragment will just be right down here on the column to the right. So it's in the front left corner of that column. So there's the court. So just jump across to that post and stand on the front edge, and you'll be able to collect the 15th fragment. And then from there, just jump straight across to the platform to the right. And there is a couple hidden platforms and a shelf up to the right that has our next fragment up there. So just come to the edge, pull out your ghost, and you'll see the platforms. Make your way up to the top here, and once you're up here, the fragment will be on the back left side of the platform. So here's another named box that you have to have a key for from the worm feeder. And there's our 16th fragment. So once you've collected that, we're just going to make our way back down, and that outside of the Court of Oryx and the rooms, that completes the fragments in the Hall of Souls. So next we'll make our way over to the Mausoleum and collect all the fragments that we can there. Whether you're starting from the start room or if you're in the court, so if you're in the court here, you're just going to make your way around to the bottom of the map to where you're behind the Court of Oryx on the back side. So we'll just run up these steps here, come out and we'll see the Court of Oryx. That's the door we went in. So there's the Court of Oryx. We're behind it. So if you make your way through this doorway, you will end up in the Mausoleum. Once we're in the Mausoleum, the first fragment that we're going to collect is underneath the ship, the side of the ship. So if you're coming in this way, it'd be the right side. If you're coming in from the hull breach starting room, it would seem like it's the left side. So right there on this side is where we come in from the main room. So just make your way around. You'll see this little column underneath with the red lighting. And underneath that column, you'll find our 17th fragment. And once you've collected that, just make your way diagonally down to the bottom left corner of the room. And there's a series of doorways here. So you can see that one is just a dead end. This one here to our left actually has a cave in it. This one's just one of these, so that there's where you go in for the Sunless Cell Strike or Regicide. And this is just a hidden room, so make your way back in this arched hidden room, and behind this column straight ahead, you'll find your 18th fragment. Then you just jump behind it on the right and collect that fragment, and then make your way back out. So to collect the next two fragments, two or three fragments, two of them are going to be down here on hidden platforms on the very bottom of the map. There's one to the right platform that doesn't require anything but being out there, and then there's one on the left that requires some special, so you can see another hidden walkway that goes in between. It's a little risky to take sometimes, but if you see out here, there's a platform to the right and a platform to the left. The platform to the left requires some special Scent of the Worm buff, so we'll get that second. Let's go ahead and jump out and grab the first one. And you can see here the path splits, so the right one takes you to the right platform, the left will take you towards the left platform. So once you get out here to the platform, you'll just make your way around to the back corner. So here's yet another named box from the Worm Feeder keys. And right around the corner here, we'll find our 19th fragment. So let's go ahead and collect that. And then if you look across the opposite side, you can see that there is another platform in that back far corner. There's a box. There's also some thrall there that you cannot kill. So to get the Scent of the Worm buff to open that box, which is the only way to open it, we will have to make our way back over to the area where we were just at with the caves, the doorways on that side of the room. And in one of the rooms, the middle doorway, or I guess if you're going from the Sunless Cell Strike doorway, it'd be the third doorway over. There's a crack in the wall where you can go in, and there's a Key of Maggots box, I believe it is. And in there we'll find our 20th fragment, along with a buff that you can use to get the box that's on that far wall. So here's the Sunless Cell entry. This is where we got the other fragment that's just the normal cave. So let's go up one more to the next room, and there's going to be a crack on the wall on the left here. So if you go through, be sure to jump up here to the left and get the fragment that's out by itself. And then once you've collected that, you're just going to want to jump down, and you can see our screen's kind of going hazy green here. If you sit here long enough, it'll continue to get darker green, and eventually you'll get a buff that is the scent of the worm, and it'll have a 1-minute timer. So once you get that timer, you take off and you have 1 minute to make it to the box on the far left side of the map. So once we get that timer, we'll take off and try to grab that box. Helpful hints are, if you're with a fire team of friends, 1 or 2 guys, it is definitely a lot easier if they stand on the platforms so that they're already spawned, so you can see them and don't have to spend time pulling out your ghosts. I have also done this quite a few times, so you can see our timer there, Scent of the Worm. So we're just going to make our way down. I've done this enough times I kind of know where some of the main platforms are, so I just jump on the first one and like the third or fourth one because I kind of know where they're at. But if you have friends, you can have one of them on this first platform so you can already see it, and then as soon as you jump, they start jumping and following the path so they're lit. So here we'll start making our way around to the left. And then on this next platform, because it lights up too, I just kind of point towards the direction of the next and make the jump to save some time. And then from here, you're just going to go over. As soon as you get up here, just go straight for the box. If you have like 3 seconds left, you'll be fine. Don't worry about the thrall, you can't kill them. So just try to get the box as quick as possible. And there's our 21st fragment. So once you grab that, just go back to the other side and pull up your ghost and make your way back out of here. And once you're out of here, we're going to make our way over to the hull breach area, where we're going to show how to do the worm singer and worm feeder ruins to get the named box keys. So from this room, you're just going to travel up the left hand side of the ship and make your way over to the hull breach, which is the main starting area. So if you're just spawning in, you can just do it from the hull breach area. And from here, when you get into the room on the bottom corner down here by the ship and the pathway to the Mausoleum, there's a cave on the left. And likewise, when you first spawn into the hull breach from orbit, there is a cave to the bottom left under the pipes where we grabbed our second fragment that has a terminal that will activate the Worm Singer rune. So you have to have a Worm Singer rune, and if you activate it like we are here, it'll draw out a ultimate ogre, a yellow HP bar ogre or champion. So here you can see they're summoning their party and some ships flying in. So we'll just make our way to the center of the room here and wait for the yellow barred ogre to show up. And all you're going to need to do is kill it without dying, and it should drop a worm feeder rune. And then you just charge that with 50 kills, and once you charge with 50 kills, you'll get a key that opens one of the named boxes. Also in this area here, you'll see over here in the ship this Sky Burners command beacon post. If you get one of those keys, you can pop it, and there's also a Cabal champion or yellow bar guy that will pop out, and you'll do the same, kill him without dying, and he'll drop a command code key. And from that, you would do the command code in the Mausoleum, which we'll show after we grab this box from the Worm Feeder rune, which will give you another fragment. So once we kill the ogre here, also these ultras here, the ogre and the Cabal captain from these two things are ultras, so you can pop a 3 of coins, and you'll see there I got an exotic off of it. So once the ogre drops the worm feeder, you'll just have to kill 50 people, and then that worm feeder rune will turn into a key that has a name on it, which goes to one of the boxes. So here we ended up getting the key of Wireding, which I know is in the bottom right hand room in the Mausoleum. So once you look up and find where the box is for that key, you'll just make your way to the box and use the key to open it. And once you open the box, you'll get a fragment on the very first box that you do. So after you do one of these per character for the Worm Singer, Worm Feeder, you won't get any more fragments, but on the very first box you will. So there's our box. Tells us to insert our key. And I've already done this so you won't see the fragment on the screen, but like I said, the very first time you do this, you will get a fragment. So that would move us up to 22 on our count list. And then as soon as you get that, like we was talking about with the Cabal guy, he'll drop a command code. So in the Mausoleum, inside the other side of the ship, there's kind of a hole or a window, a doorway that you can jump up into right above this light. So once you have the command key, Skyburner's command key, you can jump up in here and there's a terminal that you can activate, and there'll be a sequence of events that you have to complete to get the Skyburner's pass, which will end up opening up this door right here. So once you get the security pass, you can open that door, open a box, and it'll give you a calcified fragment as well. So typically the quests are that it's a 3-part series. The first is just kill anything or kill certain type of things and collect something. I think ours is bone grafts on this one, which is hive. So you just pop the key, listen to what the first mission is, and achieve that. If it's just kill everything or kill a certain amount of things, typically you'll want to make your way back over to the hull breach, because the second mission is normally either scanning the left-hand engine on the ship in the hull breach, the main room, the start room, or it is terminating a signal or finding a signal which is inside the front of the ship in the hull breach in the starting room. So here it says grafted bones collected, so we know that is hive, so just killing to confirm, and we're picking up our grafted bones. So now what I'm going to do is make my way over to, because these are timed, so once you do that, you have a certain amount of time to get over to do the second part, which would be scan the engine on the other side of the ship here, or find the signal, which would be in the middle ship in the doorway where we activate the Skyburner command beacon. So let's just complete the first part. So there's another command beacon key. That's for the one inside the ship there, to spawn out the Cabal commander that will give you the code, which is the mission that we're on right now. Alright, so now that we have 100% of the grafted bones, the next step is signal intercept. So it says engine component scanned, and you have a timer there. So this is why we kind of came back to the front room. And I know that under this far left engine is where we scan it at. And then once you've completed that, another timer starts for the final part, which is to intercept the leader. So you're just going to want to make your way as fast as possible down to the cellar where the Sunless cell mission is. So just make your way to the Mausoleum, cross over to the bottom left corner of the map, and go into where the Sunless cell strike enters. Right here is our doorway. And at the bottom of this, you will find, so there the timer stopped. So you will find another fragment right there. I kind of went past it fast, but behind that grate is a fragment. So that would be 23. You can grab that in patrol or on the Sunless cell. There's various times that you can grab that fragment. So once you drop down, once you make it to that area where the grate is, the timer stops, so you don't have to hurry anymore. So you just make your way around, and in here, you're just going to clear out all the ads. And there's going to be a boss with a yellow emblem on the other side of the room. And once you kill that boss, it'll give you the Sky Burner security pass, which opens the door for the box that gives us the fragment. So there's our guy with the red emblem. That's who we're going after. You don't really have to kill all the ads. I just clear some out to make it easier to shoot at him without getting shot. It looks like here comes our guy in from the left. Yep, that's him right there. So once you take him down, you'll get the security pass. So there we got the security pass. And at that point you can make your way back to the Mausoleum and jump up into the ship where you started this little side quest where you deployed the Skyburner command code. Deployment code, I believe is what it's called. And to the right there's the door that you can open with the key and get the box with the next fragment. So here we are next to the ship. We'll just jump into the doorway here and open this door and grab the box for our 24th calcified fragment. And again, you don't see it show up on the screen there because I've already done this on this character prior to making the video. But that is where you get a fragment. And that is the remainder of the fragments that you get out of the Mausoleum. The next one that we're going to show is the Agonarch rune. So once you have an Agonarch rune, you acquire it by finding one of these spots where Taken spawn with a little light on the floor and the orb of light, and you just walk through it. And you can see on mine I had 6 of 7 charged, so each day you can come into the Dreadnaut and do one, and it will charge your Agonarch rune by 1. So you just kill the 3 or 4 waves of Taken until you get to the yellow HP bar boss. Kill it, and then that'll charge your rune by 1. Another quick way to charge is if you have a friend that has a completely charged Agonarch rune and they are doing the charged rune mission, you can go in with them, and as long as you're putting bullets into the majors in that final mission that you'll see here in a minute, for each major it will level up your rune 1 time. So there you can see we got a fully charged Agonarch rune. So from there, again, we're just going to make our way down to that same place that we did the Skyburner security pass. So you're just going to make your way through the doorway in the Mausoleum that goes to the Sunless cell strike. And drop down. And once you've dropped down, just kind of walk around the outside of the area here until you find a little crack in the wall in the corner. And inside that crack, you'll find the terminal to start the charged juggernaut rune. I think I went backwards here. Probably would have been quicker starting out going the other way. But right here, I think we're coming up to it in this corner up here. Yep, there it is. So you just make your way in the room, and there's kind of the main hallway. There is a crack on both sides of this room, so you can get to it from two different areas. And then right here is our terminal to do the charged juggernaut rune. So you're just gonna insert or use the charged juggernaut rune to start up the side quest. This one you may want to have a fire team. So you may want to have some fire team members. And if, people that need their rune charged, all the better, because then they get something out of it too. So once you start it, just make your way over to the bottom here and step into the light. And a sequence of Taken are going to spawn in with probably 5 or 6 majors. And then once you kill all the majors, the final ultra boss will spawn in. And once you kill the ultra boss and clear out the ads, the box for the charged rune will spawn in the center of the room on the opposite side where the water is. So just clear out the room, kill all the ads, kill the boss, and then you'll be able to collect the Calcified Fragment in the box. And like I said before, somebody else is doing this, or one of the people that's with you is doing it that doesn't have theirs charged yet, theirs will charge up as they're doing this. So instead of 1 a day, you can actually charge from 1 to 7 just doing this mission with somebody. So now that we've cleared out the last captain, the ultra spawn now. So you see the zealots are spawning, and down here at the bottom you'll see the boss that you have to kill, and then you still have to clear out all the ads. So just kill everything you can and then take out the boss. Right there he is. is a bit of a lengthy battle. So here we're going to take down the boss, and once you clear that, you'll see the box spawn right down there where you're kind of in the pool of water where he's standing. So right down here in the pools where the boxes spawn. These knights are always here, so you don't have to kill them. They can be rather annoying though. So in patrol, if you come down here and kill these 3 knights within a certain amount of time, it'll open that door back there. So there's a box, and once we open it, we'll get our 25th Calcified Fragment. Again, that's from the Charged Juggernaut rune. And you don't see it on the screen there, but when you do it the first time, I've done it more than once, so once you do it more than once, you won't get a rune the second time. The next is going to be in the Regicide. There's going to be 4 that we pick up here. So once you make your way to the Mausoleum and get the teleporter to open and go through to the founts and come up here to the Asylum. Once you get to the Asylum, you're going to want to turn left and look down the column, the brace, and right down here to the left where this starts, you'll see a fragment down at the base of the walkway there. So just make your way down and grab the fragment here. Again, this is in the Regicide Mission. You can also get these 2 here in the Sunless cell, but there are 4. If you grab these here, then there's 4 in the Regicide Mission that you can pick up. The next is directly below us underneath the platform, so you'll want to take out some adds, and so that way you're not getting shot at while you're jumping down or trying to jump back up. Alright, and then once you've taken the adds out, just come to the bottom of the steps here and pull out your ghost and look down, and you'll see a platform. So you can see it there. Just make your way down to that, and if you turn around and look back at the platform, you'll see that little lip down there. So pull out your ghost and you'll see another platform over here. If you make your way to it, you can make it over to the lip underneath. And we can see our 27th fragment right there. So just jump across and collect that fragment, and then make your way back up to the top once you've collected this. Once you're back up top, you're just going to want to continue on into the next room, and after you kill the 2 bosses, another portal will open up. So just kill the bosses and make your way through the portal to find the last 2 fragments. So here we can see in the next room we take out the bosses. And again, these guys are ultra, so they can drop exotics. And there the portal is open, so we're just going to make our way through that. And as soon as you spawn in, there's going to be a room with some tombs here. Directly behind where you spawned in, underneath this back tomb, is our next fragment. So let's collect that. That'll be 28. And then just make your way through to the next area on the mission. And you'll come out and you'll see that platform that's kind of in the trenchway that we showed early on in the video, that has the final fragment for the Regicide Mission. So across the way there on the left hand side, there is our final Regicide Fragment. So let's just turn left once we've made it across and grab this fragment. And at that point you can exit out of the Regicide mission or complete it if you're actually in it and not just hunting fragments.
I am feeding an energy marker to your ghost.
So for our 30th fragment, we're going to do the Sunless Cell mission. The first two of these you can actually get in patrol. But the last one in this, you have to do the Sunless Cell strike. So on the strike, you're just going to follow the pathway. And again, if you haven't collected yet, underneath that grate, straight ahead of us, is a fragment. So right under that grate, you'll find one if you haven't already collected it, like we did earlier in the video. And then as soon as you come into this room, turn right and you'll see some lights, or I don't know exactly what these are. I guess they're lights. And on that very top light in the corner at the bottom, there is another fragment. So we'll want to make our way up to the column by jumping on these little, there's like a box right here behind you. So from there you can just jump across, so you can see the fragment there. Just jump across and then jump up and you can collect the 30th fragment. And as soon as you collected that, just jump down, and once you fall down into the basement part here, we will collect our next fragment, which is right along the wall, hidden in a box. So once you jump down, just make your way around here to the right, and in the back left corner past all these lights, you'll see a couple boxes, cases. Just jump to the back side of them and you shoot the door off of this far one. And right there is our 31st fragment. And then you're just going to continue on with the mission until you get past the asylum and in the same room where you're fighting the bosses that we just showed in the Regicide mission. So for Sunless Cell, you'll fight some Taken there, like you see here. So we're fighting the Taken, and once you defeat all the Taken, instead of the portal opening, the door right there in the back of the room will open. So once that's happened, you'll just make your way through there, and you'll be able to get the last Calcified Fragment in the Sunless Cell strike. So just make your way past the doorway. And right here on the left, as soon as you come into this room, there's a platform right there. Just jump up and you'll get your fragment right here.
We're on the right track. Alakul's energy marker is getting stronger.
And then the final strike restricted fragment. There is ways to get this in patrol, but basically on the Shield Brothers strike, right before the end where you go into the Shield Brothers battle, you're going to clear out this room with all the ads, and in this room, down on the right hand side here, and I've already picked it up so you won't see it in the video, but I'll shoot where it's at, next to all this rubble, right down there in that crack. So you can jump up and then get it from right there. That is where our next fragment is. So we'll increase the counter, but it's not shown in the video. Next we'll go through the 5 raid fragments. So after you cross the platforming on the ships, and before you teleport up to the glyphs area, so there's our teleporter, just get on the column behind it and your first fragment in the raid will be right here. And then once you've grabbed that, just go ahead and teleport up and make your way up to the doorway to start the glyphs part of the raid. And once you're at the doorway, as soon as the doorway opens, when you make your way inside, the next fragment is right on the right hand side, right there at the first column. So you can see Old Man got a fragment there. See where they're shooting? I've already picked it up, but that is your second fragment from the raid, which is right there as soon as you walk into the glyphs. Once you've collected that, you'll want to make your way after the War Priest. You'll make your way into Golgoroth's cellar. And at the first intersection, as soon as you get into the cellar, you'll want to make a left. And then just make your way to the end to the next intersection and make another left, which would be plate number 2 if you look at any of the maps for Golgoroth's cellar. And just back in the back right corner, you'll find your third calcified fragment from the raid. And then after you have beaten Golgoroth himself, the last 2 fragments will be in this next area for transept. So in the second room after Golgoroth, when you're heading to the transept, right there on the left is where the fragment is. Right here on the right is where you would actually go to get to the transept. So if you've gone to the third room, you've gone too far. It's the middle room. So as soon as you come into the second room, just turn left and there's a little ledge up here on the top. You can jump up on that ledge and collect the 4th fragment from the raid. And then once you've collected that fragment, you'll just want to make your way out to the transept, which is just continuing along with the raid where the pistons are and the hidden basketball court for Oryx is, the Easter egg that everybody's been trying to figure out. So in the transept, as soon as you walk in, if you look down on the first platform behind you in the right corner there is our final raid fragment. So just jump down and be careful. As you see here, I go flying off the map. If you die, you should just respawn back at the top platform, so just respawn and jump down again. And once you get down here, just make your way over to the far corner and collect the 5th and final raid fragment. So the final set we're going to get, there are actually 8 fragments that you can get from the Court of Oryx by doing the different various runes. There's 3 tiers: reciprocal, stolen, and antiquated. So you can start the court by doing these statues in front of it. Tier 1 is the first, Tier 2, and then followed by Tier 3, or reciprocal, stolen, and antiquated. In total, you can get 8. You can get 1 calcified fragment from the reciprocal runes, and I believe it's either the first time you start one, and you do have to start it, you have to activate the rune to get the fragment. I believe the first is either the first time you do your first reciprocal rune, or the other possibility is that it's once you've popped a reciprocal rune for every boss type in the tier 1, which there's 6 different bosses. So it's one of those 2. So when you pop your first one, if you don't get the rune, then you should be able to continue to start them until you've went through all the bosses, and then you'll get the fragment after that. Then for the stolen rune, there are 4 that you can gain. So you notice in the top right, our number went up to 46. So we're just adding in the 8 calcified fragments that you can get from the Court of Oryx. So the 4 from the stolen rune are the 4 different boss combinations that there are for the Stolen or Tier 2. And then there are 3 Calcified Fragments that you can get from the Tier 3 Antiquated runes. And that is 1 fragment for each of the 3 different bosses, which change every week. So for the Antiquated runes, you'll have to do 1 a week. You'll have to start it and complete it for that week, and then wait till the following week to get the next boss if you haven't already got it. So in total, that'll get us up to 46. And right here you see we take the guy down and I get a Calcified Fragment for the Tier 2 that we're doing. So total of 8 in the Court of Oryx. And then the final 47th known Calcified Fragment comes from completing the Taken King bounty that looks like this. Final step is the starting in Antiquated or Tier 3 and completing it under some amount of time. Once you've completed this bounty line with Eris Morn, for the first time you will get a Calcified Fragment, and you can get 1 fragment out of that bounty line. So if you've collected all other fragments, that one will get you up to 47, and that completes the currently known list of Calcified Fragments. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If so, please leave a like and a sub, and we'll catch you guys the next time.